We work in a business school, so we're not curing cancer, we're not saving the world, we're not saving lives. However, if what we teach here and what we practice can help those in organizations who are doing those different things do them better, or help them run their organizations in a more effective way, then we'll be quite happy. So what makes a good teacher or a good facilitator in those type of settings that we have in the business school? I think it's empathy. Allowing oneself to share experiences and knowledge and learn from the room as well. What I tend to do, I tend to over-prepare for my lectures, but because I over-prepare, that gives me some freedom, paradoxically, to listen a lot to what's happening in the room. And sometimes, that's when the magic happens in some ways. You have those magical moments when someone in the room will bring something completely different, or an example, or an illustration, or a question that I have frankly never thought about in the past. When I run the Cambridge Creativity Lab, we do spend a large amount of time discussing what constitutes creativity in business. And more often than not, people realize quite quickly that you don't actually have to reinvent the wheel. Before every session and during breaks, I would play music. I don't want people in the room to be just in analytical mode. I want them to use their creativity as well, and playing music before the session allows them to free up those neuronal connections. I would typically use a short clip from Meat Loaf song. Now, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Show that to the students and then ask them the questions. Say, what does it have to do with strategy? What's the connection between Meat Loaf and doing anything for love and strategy? And then I would throw the question at them and say, would you do anything for love? And of course, replace love with profitability or market share, or any metric of success you might use in your organization. When you're actually in the lecture theatre and there's a real process of co-creation with the students or with the participants in the room. So for instance, I would maybe use a case study on a specific organization, or use an example of a specific organization. And then one person in the room would say, actually, I've worked for this organization and I was there when what we're discussing right now happened. And let me tell you what actually happened and how we felt about it within the organization. And then someone else would say, that reminds me of something that happened in my own organization, and this is how we dealt with it. And little by little, the whole class will get into this discussion, constructive discussion of what they can learn from each other. And my role in this interaction is basically to link everything back together, connect everything to concepts and theories and frameworks to help them understand what has happened better.